Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Yoyo. My name is T. Today we're going to be looking at another yo-yo that I received recently just to take a look at. I'm going to be sending this back to the owner pretty soon. We're going to be taking a look at the H-Ting H-shape from Toybania and YoyoEmpire. So for the shape, obviously it's an H shape, as is in the name. You can see this is quite a unique H shape too. A lot of H shapes have like a flatter surface in here, or there's a more angular rise to the rim. But on the H-Ting you can see there's no step up, it rises straight up, and then this little ridge starts, and then there's this very bulbous H-shaped rim as well. So it's a very interesting for an H shape. It kind of has that futuristic look and feel to it. In the cup, you've got just this really nice flat bowl that's blasted nice, and in the center you have this finger spin dimple. This is used on a lot of YoyoEmpire's recent yo-yos. The material is palm plastic in the center here, and then these rims are actually titanium. So that's kind of one of the fancy things about the Ting series. All of the Ting series have this plastic body and plastic in the cups, and then the rims are titanium. So that's kind of the gimmick they're going for with this yo-yo. The feel is actually really comfortable. I was really shocked when I first got it, because when you first look at it you might not think it's the most comfortable, but it's an H shape that fits surprisingly well in the hand. A lot of H shapes don't make comfort their first priority. They're worried more about rim weight and stuff like that. But with this one, because of these bulbous rims and because the shape of the yo-yo goes down to the bearing in a very smooth, fluid way, it's very nice in the hand. And the look is pretty simple. You've got this yellow plastic in the middle here, very toy looking. In the cup here, as I said, you have the silver finger spin catch zone, kind of matches the rims a little bit. But I mean, there's no engravings or anything like that. I kind of like the simplistic look of it. I like how clean all the lines are on it. And the titanium rings aren't really polished or anything, but they are shiny enough to kind of catch the eye. But yeah, all around, it's just kind of a fun, nice looking yo-yo. So the H-Ting I received from Toybania and Vivek just to make a video. I'm going to be sending this back soon. He also sent me the O-Ting and the Machination as well. So you'll be seeing separate videos on those eventually. So this is a series of recent yo-yos that are being done in a little collaboration. They're being done together between Toybania, which is a yo-yo store in India, and YoyoEmpire, which you guys, you know that company, you know I love them. So it's kind of cool that these two companies are coming together to make this pretty unique and interesting style of yo-yo. There's a few of these in the series. There's a V-Ting, the H-Ting I believe was the first, and then the O-Ting is the most recent. It's interesting that Vivek and Toybania have been making this product kind of just in conjunction with YoyoEmpire, doing the designs and stuff on their own. And I think the Ting can only be purchased at Toybania still, which is pretty cool to kind of have like a store exclusive yo-yo series to call your own. It's really neat, I think. As for how the H-Ting plays, it's a very reliable yo-yo. It's very easy to hit on the string because the gap here is pretty wide. You have a really nice catch zone in here. It's got a nice stable feel. It does have a really nice spin to it as well. Now when you first throw this yo-yo, you might kind of think like, oh yeah, it's got that bimetal effect, but it's a little bit different. It doesn't really feel like a bimetal or a bimaterial, even though it does have these very distinct different types of metal here. As far as I know, stainless steel is heavier and denser than titanium, so it's a little bit easier to get that like immediate sense of rim weight from stainless steel, whereas titanium is a little bit softer, it's a little bit more subtle. So when you first throw this, you might feel like, oh, it's not like this race car rev machine that I expected it to be. It's a much more subtle effect on the string, and it's going to take you some time to kind of get used to how it feels. I do like the titanium. I think it's interesting. I'm not sure if other yo-yos have done this already. I'm sure there's been some kind of project like that before, but I do really like the shape. I think it's cool that it's coupled with palm. I think there's a lot of bimetals coming out these days, but at the same time, it's kind of nice to see something that's taking different metals and kind of using them in a different way. And it also helps them keep the cost down as well, to not make the whole yo-yo out of titanium and to use plastic in the body instead of aluminum. Speaking of the material, because you're working with palm and Delrin here, the grinds on this are fantastic, and the shape of the yo-yo is perfect for finger grinds as well. So I was really excited to see the trend of YoyoEmpire's yo-yos that can grind continue. Of course, you got to talk about finger spins. This cup is designed for it, as you can clearly see. There's not such a huge descent down into this finger spin area, so if you kind of catch it on the edge, it is going to spin wildly for a bit, but eventually you'll get your finger in there. But once you do, it's perfectly blasted little metal area in there to catch your finger spins and hold them for a very, very long time. It's nice also, this has a very nice width in the center, so all your whips and slacks are very easy to hit on this. I don't know, it's just kind of a fun yo-yo. Like, all the playability and stuff aside, it's very interesting to actually get my hands on a yo-yo that implements titanium in this way. I've only thrown one titanium yo-yo. I threw Marcus Coe's titanium yo-yo a little bit ago. I don't remember the name of it, but it was a very interesting and different feel. And playing with something like this, again, kind of totally is different than that. When you first pick this up, like I said, it's gonna be very difficult to kind of understand what the titanium is doing because it doesn't have that immediate, like, powerful effect of stainless steel. It is a heavier and denser material than plastic, so it does have an effect. And because it's titanium, because they're able to machine it a little differently and a little bit more precisely, I think, you're able to get a little bit more of an interesting weight distribution. So I don't know, it's not really going to be for everyone, this kind of feel. I think some people may pick it up and say like, but I want it to feel like a bimetal. And it doesn't really feel totally like a bimetal. And I think that's fine. And I'm actually glad it doesn't feel like a bimetal, because if it did, I would kind of question why they did it. But playing with this, the longer I've played with it, the more I've appreciated the fact that the metal feeling is different and that the weight distribution does feel a little bit more even than your typical bimetal. On top of that, I think the shape is really cool. I like H shapes. I like bulbous yo-yos. I like yo-yos that are soft in the hand. I think comfort is pretty much my #1 priority with the yo-yo. It has to feel good in the hand, and it has to be nice to catch too, because otherwise I just don't ever want to play it. It's got a really nice response too. I found that all of these yo-yos I've received from Toybania so far have had really nice responses, which is something that sometimes I have to change out on YoyoEmpires. I find that their plastics have had not the most reliable response right out of the box. Usually I put in new pads as soon as I get them, but this one has been nice and snappy from the start. I'm not exactly sure what pads are in here, and this yo-yo has made its way around to be tested and tried by many people, so it may have been modded or changed in some way. I'm not 100% sure. So I like this shape. I think this is a really cool shape. It's a very modern, very flashy H shape that's kind of designed to catch your eye immediately. I like that. I like the finger spin catch zone. I know people are kind of here or there about finger spins these days. I think some people are starting to get a little tired of them, but it's nice to have a yo-yo that kind of puts the finger spin catch zone there, but doesn't really make it the focal point of the yo-yo. That's something that's really nice about this. I like the design of it. I like the shape, the color, all that stuff, how it's put together. I like that it uses titanium. Like I said, I don't have any I've never tried any bimaterial titanium yo-yos until now, so it's quite interesting. And like I said, it does have a very different feel from stainless steel. So when you first throw any of the tings, you'll probably be surprised at how different it feels. It grinds really nice. As I mentioned, all of YoyoEmpire stuff grinds fantastically, and this continues the trend. And I think it's a cool collaboration. It's nice to see YoyoEmpire branching out and doing a lot of different stuff. And it's cool that they kind of partnered up with Toybania to do this too, because I've talked to Vivek a lot. We don't just talk about YoyoEmpire and his stuff, but we talk about, you know, all kinds of different brands and stuff too. So it's really nice that these really, you know, cool companies were able to come together and make something really interesting. So eventually you'll be seeing reviews of these two guys, which are, you know, a little bit similar in concept and theory. In fact, you can see this is the Machination is very similar in shape to the H-Ting, and then the O-Ting is, you know, the next one in the series after the V-Ting. Personally, I just prefer the O-Ting because it's got a more interesting shape to me, but we'll get to that in the next review. So I don't really have any cons for this. I guess the only things I would mention are, I would just say don't be put out when you pick this up and you find it doesn't play like a typical performance-based bimetal right off the bat, because it's much more subtle than that. And I think if you go into it thinking it's going to be this like it's going to be this insane rim-weighted yo-yo that's crazy performance driven, that's not really what I feel this yo-yo is about. Of course it can perform, of course it's designed for performance, but it doesn't have that bimetal feel. It feels very different and unique, and it takes advantage of titanium in different ways. So I would just think people should go into that with an open mind. Alright, thank you so much for watching today, boys and girls. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave me a like, a comment, and a subscription. I'd really appreciate it. Take care, have a nice day, and sayonara.